Even if you're about as flexible as a block of concrete or you just want to move better for your sport or life in general, these are the 3 exercises that I think most people would benefit from. Now, you can follow along with me as I do them. You don't even have to stand up. They're pretty simple and I think you can all have a go at this. So the first one is, we're going to start, I'm on my left knee here with my right foot forward. I'm in a position where my thigh is going to stay fairly vertical here. So it's not a big lunge or anything like you usually see people doing when they're trying to target these muscles. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to arch my back and then I'm rounding. So what I'm doing is I'm tucking my hip under and back. And no, you haven't just tuned into my OnlyFans here. This is just a great movement for your pelvis to get all these muscles that insert into your pelvis to loosen up a little bit before we do anything else. So do maybe 5 to 10 of these. And then what we're going to do, we're going to end in this tuck position. So here, my belly button points up. And if you do this correctly, you should already start to feel a little bit of load coming into the top of the hip here, a bit of a stretch here. I can get more if I now lean back. If you still don't have it, you can push the top of the foot into the ground. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lift the left elbow overhead, still in this position. And then we're going to lean to the right a little bit. So now you'll feel it kind of transfer down to the left here. And then we'll come into the other side. So again, just tucking up and you're arching your back, bring your hip under. So it's like you're trying to get your belly button to point up and then you're trying to stick your butt out in this kind of duck, waddle type position. Now these movements are good for warming things up. But we need to follow it up with some static holds where we're loading the muscle. We talk about mobility and all these things and movement. Movement's great for loosening it up, but doesn't create any permanent type of change, which in my Stretch Yourself Strong system is part of the goal. We want to get things strong and we want them to change permanently. Okay, we'll hold there, tuck the hip under. I'm going to lift my chest and lean back, pushing into the top of my foot. And we're holding here. This should feel like a pretty strong stretch through the top of the hip here. Notice my chest is up. I'm not lunging forward. If anything, my weight is going backwards. I'm going to get this right arm overhead. I'm going to lean to the left. You can start to really lift your chest here as well. Make sure you're breathing. And I'll come out of that. I'm going to bring my left leg on the ground here. So I've got my left leg forward, my shin, I've got a mat here, it's parallel to the mat, but what we really want is the knee in front of the hip. Back leg can be, for reference, the thigh in line with the shin, parallel, but it can also be a bit forward if you get a bit crampy here. So again, we're just going to move in and out. 5 to 10 of these. If you've worked on this sort of position, you can also go no arms. And you'll start to feel, your glute warming up a little bit. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to hold. Now in the hold, I want my chest up. So this isn't about going to here. Whilst it looks pretty cool, I want to see if I can target a stretch or a load in my glute around the back of my hip here without going low. And the way I do that, so let my pelvis tilt over and my chest come up and my weight is now going forward. Okay, we're going to hold here. And again, if you want a little bit more work, you can have the hands off. You could even hold a weight or something. But we're trying to get a load through this muscle where the muscle is at length. Okay, what we're going to do now, my right arm is going to move diagonally past my front knee. I'm posted on my left elbow. I'm looking over to my left. I should feel stretched down my right side. Now you can work to a bit of an extreme here. You could even bring your chest all the way over to the left and reach, but if you have any back problems, I wouldn't recommend this. Yeah, we'll come out, go other side. So again, we're just moving in and out. Again, 5 to 10 of these is fine. And, this shouldn't take very long to do. You could just be sitting at home, chilling, and you hit these 3 things on the floor, I guarantee you'll see some changes in the way you move. Okay, again, let's hold. So remember, we're looking at chest up, letting my weight come forward. You'll know you've got it if you feel it in the back of this right hip. Again, you can have hands off, you could be holding a weight. We want load to come into this muscle. So this is also a good activation drill. People talk about not being able to fire their glutes. Best place to fire a muscle is when it's at length because it wants to respond by shortening, it wants to contract. So we're getting this muscle at length, loading it, and getting some good range of movement happening as well. Okay, left hand is going to move diagonally past my knee. I'm dropping my left shoulder, turning my head to look to the right. Again, you can go to this extreme version, but as I said, wouldn't recommend it if your back isn't completely fine. Okay, we're going to come out here, we're going to sit legs crossed. If you can't sit legs crossed, you could prop your hips up on something, or you could just find a comfortable position where we can turn a little bit. The crossing of the legs isn't super important. It's more about getting some movement through our back. So whenever we twist, we want to make sure our back's straight. So that's why I've got my left hand behind me, leaning on it. I'm going to come forward and turn to the right, looking over my shoulder, come forward. And you'll notice I segment this movement. Lower back, rib cage, head, come forward. So a nice way to get these segments of your spine moving. Lower back, rib cage, head. And I might even add a bit of stretch through my pec here too with the twist. So as I twist, I'm going to find something to rest my arm on, and I'm lengthening through the front of my chest. As I turn, I'm pushing into this little stand here to also get a bit of a stretch through my chest. That's an option, you don't have to take it. We'll come forward again and we'll turn. You can be stretching through the pec if you've got something you put your hand on. You could even just lift the chest a bit. You might even feel it a little through there. Yeah. And then just coming forward again. And you could even come forward here, chill out for a moment, do some breathing, whatever you like. But very simple, 3 exercises. We get a lot of things moving, a lot of things opening, and we're getting some strength and load into some muscles that tend to need it with a lot of people. So give this a go. If you've got any questions, please ask. I'd love to hear how you're going with it. And if you'd like more info, please check my book, programs, all those things. Like, share, subscribe, everything, all the things. I'll see you in the next one.